Welcome to Live Breathe Film, episode 110. You're here with Corey, Doug, and Murph. Thank you for joining us. Today we'll be conducting our fall box office draft, so feel free to let us know where you think we each screwed up badly, or let us know who you think will win. So we're going to jump right into it. It's crazy to think the summer's almost over and the fall's almost here. We'll get to our summer box office pool and the summer box office at the end of our episode. But for now, we'll get to our feature presentation, which will focus on our fall box office draft and what we think are going to be the big hits of the fall season between September and December. So, as per usual as of the last draft that we did, we are doing a $50 buy-in for like an AMC gift card. We're each putting $50 in, so the winner ultimately gets $100. And then the eligibility period are going to be films released between 9/6, so the weekend after Labor Day, and 12/31. All right, I guess let's go right into it then. Doug, you want to kick us off with the number one pick in the 2024 fall box office draft?
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with my initial gut on this one, and it could be a horrible mistake, but I'm gonna go Moana 2. You're welcome, Corey. Um,
You would have, yeah,
I
no,
Just like the song.
yeah. I know what Corey wanted, and part of me just wanted to just crush Corey's dreams. Just because I like doing that when I can in the draft. Um, you know, I think Moana 2, the concerns there are it was originally supposed to be a TV series. Lin-Manuel Miranda is not back. The first movie didn't perform super well. So those are all the negatives that kind of
Yeah.
weighed against this movie for me.
Walt
Um,
Disney Animation Studios hasn't had a
well,
hit since 2019.
yeah, all of that, but I think this is probably going to be more of a Into the Spider Verse for is how I kind of feel about it. Where the second movie is going to be way bigger box office wise than the first one. I just think this movie really took off on streaming.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it was the obvious number one based on like all the things you said. I think it's gonna have a massive jump from the first one. I mean, the first one was odd in the fact that Zootopia came out the same year as it and made so much more money than Moana, but
Yeah,
Moana's cultural footprint is significantly larger than Zootopia.
and I think it looks like movie quality, especially up to the first one, which I wasn't expecting. The entire time where they were saying that it was originally a TV show, even through production. So, um, I think it definitely has potential to be
Yeah,
huge. I mean, it's gonna make money, but how much?
yeah, that's the big question. Is it going to make a couple hundred million, or is it more of like could it go as high as like Inside Out 2 and
hmm
for sure. Okay.
all right, Corey.
Corey.
This should be pretty easy for you.
Yeah, you made it very easy for me. Joker, all you do.
Alrighty. Um,
If you didn't pick either, if you didn't pick Moana, then it would have been very difficult for me.
Yeah, so these were the two that I was between. Just
Moana
spoiler
or
alert on that.
Joker.
Yeah, very very different movies.
yeah, completely different. Both musicals, we can give them that.
Yep.
That's a good point.
So not completely different, but different. Yeah, I mean, as Deadpool and Wolverine shows, R-rated comic book movies can go way higher than we ever thought possible, and R-rated movies in general can go way higher than we ever thought possible. This past summer, he went from Passion of the Christ, not a comic book movie, but 377 million or whatever that one made, which had the record, to now Deadpool and Wolverine, which is going to gross over 600 million. And then on the comic book front, this jumped from Deadpool's record of 350 something, I believe, to now what Deadpool and Wolverine is doing. Well, I'll go with Mufasa the Lion King to keep the musical theme running. I'll take your Lin-Manuel Miranda that you lost, Doug, in Moana, as he is doing the music for Lion King. But yeah, I'll go with this one strictly because I don't love it because, as I said to you guys, Disney live action adaptation sequels generally drop pretty far from their first one. Alice in Wonderland in particular, that dropped like from 300 something to 77 million. Granted, that had it was during the middle of, I guess, the start of Johnny Depp being kind of like a little bit like persona non grata in 2016. I hate when I do this, but I'm going to break the order that I originally put movies in because I got stuck with this third spot, which I didn't want to be at. So I'm going to go with something I wasn't intending to draft, but I'll go with what's going to be the biggest movie of September and the kickoff to the fall frame.
I knew it.
It's going after weeks of kind of nothing at the box office. So I want to do Beetlejuice. Don't say that name 3 times. Again, I don't love the film. I don't love the nostalgia plays, but I think Jenna Ortega and Tim Burton kind of make it different than some of these other nostalgia plays in the past. It could kind of run strongly during like the spooky season, and movies that kick off after Labor Day have had lots of success, like It Chapter 2, The Nun 2, etc. So yeah, again, not something I'm like wanted to like I'm very like super confident about, but I also think it kind of makes sense. All right, Corey.
I'm gonna go with Transformers 1.
Okay. I don't hate that. I actually would have considered it too.
Yeah, it was one I thought was going to make it back to me, and I was definitely going to take it, or that would have gotten close to getting back to me. I do think it's going to make a good amount of money. Yeah, this could be a nice one for you. Kid friendly at the end of September, because nothing kid friendly comes out really before then, other than Beetlejuice, which skews a little older. And clearly, the Transformers franchise is still alive based on how the one did last year.
Yeah,
and supposedly it's very good from what I've heard.
It looks good.
Doug, you get 2 in a row.
Yeah, this is where I just like.
This is kind of your make or break. Like, you win it.
I know what I have to pick, or I know what I like think I have to pick, but I hate it.
Yeah,
these are both movies that I don't care about.
I know the two you're taking.
Okay, well, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to surprise you.
Right.
But I'm going to go Venom.
Yep.
Save the Last Dance. I hate these movies. The trailer looks like it did gangbusters from what I could see on YouTube. Still seems to be a lot of interest. They're billing it as the last of the Venom movies. I don't know if that's really true, but as long as Tom Hardy gets paid, I think maybe these will continue. But the fact that they're billing it as the last one, maybe that'll get kind of more hype. And these movies just make money. I don't know how they make money, but they do. People love these things. I think it's a safe pick.
Yeah, it is definitely safe. I mean, the first two basically made the same amount of money, and the second one had to deal with COVID, like a few months before things really opened up with No Way Home.
The next movie I'm going to draft is Sonic 3.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay. Another one feels pretty reliable. I checked and confirmed before I, made the order in my head that Jim Carrey's coming back. I think that's probably important that he comes back. I don't know. This one feels a little bit less interesting to me just because I think Knuckles and Tails coming back or joining the franchise in the second one felt like a bigger deal than the Shadow character, but apparently there's a lot of hype
There's a lot
for
of Shadow, a lot of Shadow fans, and it's got a great release date. It's got the best release date this series has had so far.
Yeah, so it's another one that I feel like could make a couple hundred million, and it feels safer than some of the other ones where I could see, I could see them being really big, but I could also see them not being really big.
Corey, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Gladiator 2.
I like that. That's a movie that was a little riskier. It was just the only reason I stayed away from it in the slots that I went. But it's a sequel to a beloved movie with the first Gladiator. The cast looks awesome. The trailers have been good so far, so it could be. I kind of have this as it could be $100 million movie, or it could be gangbusters and really surprise. Just not really sure. So Corey, I don't know. What were you thinking when you went with Gladiator 2?
I mean, I think it's gonna. I think it could go either way, but I'm a little worried about the past Ridley Scott movies. Over the past year or two. So I think it's kind of a risk, but Gladiator, people love it, so I think it could make money.
I mean, there is something for those movies that come back, after a very long period of time that were beloved and make a lot of money. Probably the only thing against it is it's kind of weird that they didn't get Russell Crowe back in some shape or form. I guess they couldn't because he's dead, but
yeah,
he's dead.
He's very dead. Yeah, I think it has potential. I think it's going to make money. I don't think it's going to bomb. I think it could go either it makes a little bit under 100 million, or it could make, could be like a above 150 type of movie if people really resonate with it still. So
yeah, the first one was a smash. One Best Picture. So it's got name recognition, and people still love the first one. So yeah, I mean, I would have picked it up with one of my next two picks for sure. I hope all these Broadway nuts run out to see this one. I'm going to take Wicked, or really, I'm going to hope all Ariana Grande's fan base runs out to see this one. It'll be a test of her box office power. The Wizard of Oz brand, the huge, immense popularity of the Broadway production.
Yeah, I mean, the Broadway production is huge.
So we'll see how it translates. Comes out the same day as Gladiator 2. So maybe they can do a weird. Doesn't look like they'll do an Oppenheimer Barbie type situation, but who knows what can happen in the next 3 months. So yeah, again, don't love it. Got screwed Color Purple last time, but I think this has a lot more potential than that one did. This one I'm going to go with just because I think it looks better than the other one that I have right after it. I could see them both making money, but I don't love drafting movies from animation studios that aren't Disney, Pixar, or Illumination.
I know what you're picking.
But I think The Wild
Looks
Robot
good.
actually looks good.
it does look good.
Looks really good.
Shockingly good, and
I was hoping that was going to fall to me because I think it could be a surprise hit.
And creative from DreamWorks, which they don't really do creative.
Plus, looks more like a Pixar movie.
Yeah, they had success with Puss in Boots last year. Granted, that's a franchise, but it was a critical hit. and like I don't love that it comes out right when Transformers comes out. Like, why are they putting two animated movies out at the exact same time? But The Wild Robot, it's based on a book.
I think it's a good pick.
Thank you.
Like I
Nice.
said, I wanted it to fall to me, so
Yeah.
I would have like been pretty happy if I could have gotten that movie too, and just I
And
would've-
just
yeah.
said, okay, this draft's over. Just give me my $50. Give me my $100 now, please. All right, Corey, what do you got with your next pick?
All right, I'm gonna go with Smile 2. First one made a lot of money. I think this one could potentially make more. It's got a bigger star front, starring in it. Remember the first one had legs too. I think it opened like was it like 20, 25 million, something like that, and then but it had a lot of legs. So
Yeah, it did have
I think
strong legs, made over 100 million.
yeah. So if this is $100 million movie, then I'd be happy. But I think it has a higher ceiling if they play their cards right, market it as as uniquely as the first one.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be tough to replicate the viral marketing, but now it has it has just the awareness of
Like
the first one.
now. Yeah.
Yeah. So what shall Doug do?
There's a lot of choices, a lot of potentials. Still,
I'm gonna go with Craven the Hunter. I think
You're going all in on the
Sonyverse.
Sonyverse of
Yeah,
Sony
I mean, I
films.
think if it's bad, it's probably got a Madam Web floor of around 40 million.
Yeah.
If it's good, it could be a potential 100 million.
Yeah. It's guaranteed to make money.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Like at least like I don't see it not making like 60 million. I mean, what Madam Web make?
40.
Madam Web maybe 40. That was like lower
I think
than
that's the bottom.
is
yeah.
that what it made? I thought it made less than that.
When I looked it up, it said 40.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see Craven making less than. I don't see it making less than 40.
No, definitely not.
There's this freaking movie. I don't know how it's gonna do.
There's a lot of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically the box office in a nutshell. What do you think of everyone's picks so far? Do you love them? Do you hate them?
Yeah, I mean, I feel okay with mine, but I'm making the conscious decision. I knew Doug was going to get. He was going to get. Venom and Sonic were going to be gone, so it was kind of rolling the dice.
Yeah,
I'm not convinced. I know Venom's going to make money, but I don't know if it's going to make as much money as the last two. I think there's going to be diminishing returns with this one. But
yeah, I don't know. People just seem to like this franchise.
they do. They certainly do.
All right. I'm just gonna. I don't like this at all. But I'm gonna go with the Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohirrim.
I mean, it's a
Just
safe
because
brand
it's
pick.
it's a brand that people know.
I hate
Which-
you.
These other movies aren't. I don't like that it's anime,
Yeah, the trailer did nothing for me.
which concerns me a lot. But I think just the Lord of the Rings brand, plus they seem to be trying heavily to tie it into the Peter Jackson world. I noticed the trailer used a lot of the music.
The
from-
creator is also like an acclaimed anime director, so I think it's going to pull the fan base of people who watch anime and like Lord of the Rings. I think is very much the same, so I think it's going to pull those people into theaters.
All right, Corey, what do you got?
I think I'm gonna go with Nosferatu.
All right, Corey with horror pick. Inevitable at some point.
Yeah,
I got Smile.
The already. Oh, that's true. You did get Smile.
I broke
The
the
art.
seal
The
with that
already.
one.
The already horror film.
Yep. And Corey loves his Eggers, so
Yeah, he drafted the
Northman.
Northman back in the winter spring draft of 22.
Yep.
looks good.
Yeah, it does look good.
It's a long play since it comes out on Christmas, so we won't know for quite some time how this performs.
All right, so I'm gonna go with a movie that I don't think looks good, but I think has potential. It's an original. Red One with Dwayne Johnson.
There you go, Murph.
And Chris
Yeah.
Evans. This was the one I was alluding to in the last round and didn't ultimately pick it. So the fact that it came back to me, I was kind of surprised. I think it looks like shit, but it's a family movie in November, a holiday movie that could potentially leg out to the older kids and families that aren't seeing Moana in November and December. All right, so now I'll go with the straight horror movie that's been advertised like crazy and that I think looks really good. I'm gonna go with James McAvoy's Speak No Evil.
Yep. Definitely been advertised like crazy. They haven't given away a ton of that movie.
Yeah, it's been like the same scenes.
Yeah. Which I like.
Yeah.
Although I felt like the last trailer, the most recent one, showed way too much of the movie.
Yeah,
I must have not
I
seen
think
that
most movies just show way too much now, so it just is what it is. But yeah, I mean it's got a great release date because it gets ahead of all the other horror movies that open in September and October. And James McAvoy looks like he's straight up in like split mode where he called it. So yeah, 3 horror movies off the board now.
A lot of potentials.
There really is.
Yeah. All right, bucket. Terrifier 3.
All right, Terrifier 3, another horror off the board.
This movie, I think could potentially make like 70, just based on the hype. See what happens, but I think it could. The first one made, I think, like 20. I think that was the box office, but I think now with the hype going into this one, I think it definitely could make a ton of money and have legs in October.
The first movie made $339,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one made $10 million, rounded to $11 million. So that would be a massive leap to jump to 70. It's definitely going to be bigger than the second one, based on the notoriety of the second one at this point, and how the legs of the first one. And now it's going to, I guess, have a much wider release than Terrifier 2. I mean, you really can't. We shouldn't even be talking about the first one. It was like its own little experimental thing. It's really just comparing it to the second one. It certainly has a lot more potential. Is it rated R or is it unrated? How are they doing?
No, it's rated R.
Oh, it is rated R. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll help it because the last one was unrated, and yeah, so it would have a wider release. And this one isn't getting like an iconic one day release that keeps getting expanded, like it's opening wide. So yeah, it definitely has potential to make it another big leap from the last one did. My guess is it was not on Doug's radar. So you certainly could have gotten it with your next one, but let's see what Doug takes.
Yeah, so I'm gonna do Saturday Night here.
That looks like a good one.
It looks like a good movie. Folks are familiar with Saturday Night Live, obviously, as being, a very long running television series. Trailer was solid. Jason Reitman feels like he's, starting to find success with, bigger movies. Yeah, it just has potential here and name recognition, which I think are both, good things.
Great. Jason Reitman's had, I mean, Up in the Air is probably, or Juno would be his biggest hit so far. Up in the Air would probably be his second biggest hit. Oh well, and then you got Ghostbusters Afterlife. What made more, Juno or Ghostbusters? Wouldn't shock me if it was actually Juno. Juno, yeah, 143. Then Ghostbusters Afterlife, and then Up in the Air. Up in the Air, I think made like close to 100. Man, box office was different back in 2009. 84 million for Up in the Air. God damn, fucking good movies like for awards made so much money. That was fucking. Those were the days. Only 15 years ago. Crazy to think, man. We saw Up in the Air 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's wild.
And then we discovered our bar after that. I still remember that. Or the rest of our town discovered it when we were wee youths.
Yeah. Dollar beers.
Yeah.
And beer pong.
Damn, where were we? 20, 23, 22 years old? Holy shit.
I think I was 22.
Yeah, you two were 22. I was 23.
No.
I had just turned 23 a few months before that. God damn. Time flies. But yeah, Jason Reitman definitely has a lot of hits. Saturday Night. I mean, it's a good time for this movie to come out with Saturday Night Live's 50th anniversary. Their big special coming up in the winter, and then it being the 50th season.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, I mean, it's more adult skewing, which is dangerous, but it seems like maybe adults are going back to the theater. But I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah. Well, we'll see in October.
Screw it. Yeah, I'm just going to double down on adults. Just going to be like I'm going to regret this so much. I'm going to do a Complete Unknown.
Okay. All right. You're going with Bob Dylan. I mean,
yeah.
you do got Timothy Chalamet playing him, so
I mean, that's part of the reason.
Kind of an X factor.
Yeah, it's Timothy Chalamet is playing Bob Dylan. The trailer looked good. It's James Mangold, who's found success in these types of movies with Walk the Line.
Yep.
Granted, that was a different time period where adults, those types of movies did better. But I think we've seen that musician documentaries can do well still.
No, not a bad pick. I mean, we've drafted 19 movies, and they were all on my short list of 24. So I think everyone's picking movies that have potential. All right, Corey, you got one pick now.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with Anora.
All right, the Palme d'Or winner, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm not French. The winner at Cannes for Best Movie, which looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to see it.
Has potential, but I mean, I don't see it like lighting up the box office.
Yeah, I think it's
You know,
critically going to do well. And
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
not too
yeah.
much at the box office.
Gonna be a critical smash. But yeah, I'm not sure what it's going to do box office wise.
And there's like a lot of other question marks here that I'm like, especially there's some that I'm like, man, these could really be stinkers.
Yeah.
So it's more of a safe, like late pick, I guess. Safer late pick.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be an awards conversation until February. So
It comes out early enough that it also
starts its wide release or starts its limited release in October.
Yeah.
So it should be talked about for a while. All right, going with Boomer Bait. I was shocked this was still
Come
here.
on into the Boomer Bait
I was
club.
shocked this was still here, but I'm going with the Forrest Gump reunion of Robert Zemeckis, Eric Roth, Tom Hanks, and Robin Wright. Here, hoping for like a Man Called Otto type box office run at least like his early November release date. I think it's got with the concept, the de-aging, and the other things, and it looks different.
Yeah.
I just think that this could actually be something that hits for older audiences and gets people gets them boomers nostalgic for the past. I'm gonna take Flight Risk. I think it looks like a cool thriller.
Yeah, no, I think it could be a good movie. The trailer actually had like quite a bit of views on YouTube, which surprised me. This was one didn't want to take it where I was, but I was kind of hoping it would come back to me.
Yeah,
It doesn't seem like people are like there's the Mel Gibson factor, obviously, where he's kind of back in Hollywood, but not to where he used to be.
he's not back enough where they'll actually put his name on the poster or the trailer. They'll say from the director of Braveheart,
right? And it's like Mel Gibson?
these other hit movies.
Yeah, so
Rage,
I mean,
etc.
There's that weirdness of it, but I mean, it doesn't seem like people they're obviously not. To your point, they're kind of hiding the fact that Mel Gibson's involved with this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't expect people to like boycott going out to see this movie because of his involvement.
Yeah, no. I mean, for a last pick, it's something that I think is safe to make like $40 million at least. All right, and now we are on to your final pick, Corey, and then Doug's final pick. What you got? What you thinking? Were you thinking of either of the two I took, or were you?
Yeah.
Oh, you were.
Yeah, but I wasn't surprised that they would be gone before I got to my last pick.
Gotcha.
So.
All right, so we've all fucked each other over throughout this draft. It's always good to know. Yeah, I'm interested to see what these last two picks are.
I have one pick, right?
Yep, you have one, and then you have one. Doug has one, and then we are done.
I'm gonna go with Brandy's The Front Room.
That was on my short list.
I think this film has potential to make a bit of money. I think I don't think it's gonna flop. I think people will go out and see it. And I think Brandy has definitely, some draw, especially since this is like the first movie that she's really started in a very long time. If so, and I thought it looked good.
Yeah, and I guess relatable concept with the crazy mother-in-law. So.
Oh, and also the A24 effect. That also plays a factor. Now they have their core group of moviegoers that see their films. So I think it's again a bit of like a safer bet than the other movies that I was thinking.
Yeah, and a lot of these horror movies or suspense movies like from late August probably won't be really making a difference post Labor Day. So
Yeah, and this is an early one. This comes out in what, a week?
comes out the same day as Beetlejuice, so September 6th.
Yeah.
2 weeks from yesterday, or 2 weeks from Thursday. All right, Doug, your last pick. This is for all the marbles. This is going to determine whether you win or lose.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna make the stupid choice here and go with the Conclave.
Don't think it's a
excited
stupid
to see
pick. It was the
maybe
highest. It was the highest one left on my list.
Yeah, I just don't like how adult skewing I've gotten with these last 3 picks, but it's the one I'm the most excited for out of the list. So
Yeah, no, it's supposed to
That's why I wound up
be
picking
in
it.
the like running best picture like conversation. Edward Berger did All Quiet on the Western Front. So that was best picture, best director nominee 2 years ago. Yeah, the only movie on my short list that didn't get drafted was Whitebird. I had that.
That's what I was between.
I had that
on that
22,
one.
and I had Conclave 20. So, yeah.
If I didn't, if Conclave wasn't there, I probably would have gone Whitebird just because of, the book have sold well, and the first movie, although it was a while ago now, did well with Wonder.
Yeah, no, I ultimately was like, yeah. I mean, Ordinary Angels didn't work out for me when I drafted it twice, but I mean, I probably should have drafted the Bike Riders a second time. That was one that I would consider drafting a second time. I feel like I consider drafting Horizon, even though it doesn't have an official release date, Chapter 2. But I'm surprised, Corey, that you did not draft Interstellar.
I consciously didn't.
You went.
The streak is broken.
You went re-release free.
Yeah, I thought about it in the end, but
I was expecting it for your last pick. Per Phantom Menace.
The one movie that I really wanted to pick, but because it's a limited release, it would have been like a waste of a pick, is My Old Ass.
Yeah.
I think that looks really good. That's one of the movies I'm excited to see. But yeah, I would have picked it.
It was a very good movie. We caught it this summer.
Okay. Yeah, it looked really good.
But it being a limited release, I
don't know exactly what their release. They say limited. I mean, we see the posters at AMC, so I don't know exactly how wide it's going.
And it already got pushed out of like late August and September. Yeah. So like I was like,
Yeah, I don't know what it's gonna actually do. Yeah, I mean the only movie that was drafted that I didn't have on my list of 24 was Anora, and it might be my most anticipated movie of all the movies coming out this fall.
Mm-hmm. The other film that I was back and forth with roll the dice is and I think it's funny that none of us picked it. We were all kind of thinking the same thing. Is Megalopolis?
Oh yeah, I wasn't fucking with Megalopolis.
So
yeah, I mean that movie's gonna tank. I mean you guys saw it went on with the trailer this past week, right?
I did.
No.
They released the trailer and then they had to pull it later that day because it used AI and generated fake reviews of previous Francis Ford Coppola movies and attributed them to critics. Basically saying how all his movies are ahead of its time, like comparing it to The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. And yeah, somebody's gotten fired already, like the marketing consultant that put together the trailer.
At first, I thought it was
Lionsgate had to apologize. They still haven't put out a replacement trailer for it. The movie looks got bonkers.
Yeah, I mean, they just the fact that Francis Ford Coppola had to put so much of his own money in it because everyone was afraid to distribute it on their
Yeah.
own. That's not a good sign for box office.
Yeah, I mean, nothing has been working out for him for this movie. So no, I would have drafted probably another 10 movies before Megalopolis, including Interstellar's re-release. Which, if those other, I part of me was like, do I draft Interstellar with my last pick? But because the two movies were there that were there, I didn't do it. And I don't know, like, if they're really going to report the grosses, like, for this one. Like, they were weird. Like, Warner Brothers was weird with Tenet this past earlier this year, and Dune's re-release. Like, they didn't really talk about those. So I was like, I'm not gonna touch it, even though I do think it'll make some decent. It can make some decent money.
Y2K
Yeah.
is another one that I think could make some change. I think people will go see that, like, in our age group.
Which one?
Yeah. Y2K could do well with millennials and Gen Z.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Gen Z
I don't
cast,
know.
and
It looks a little like.
but
I mean,
it's
it looked funny. I thought, and I was like, oh, this would be fun to maybe watch on streaming. But I don't know if people are gonna rush to the theaters for that.
yeah. I mean, comedies just generally don't do well. So, like, straight up comedies, and Kyle Mooney's particular brand of humor is not for everyone. So, yeah, no. Conclave, Doug, a solid last pick. I was hoping you were going to go with The Killer's Game because I thought that looked like a complete bomb.
It's gonna bomb, but
I thought
I've been
Doug,
wrong on that before.
I thought you were gonna go with the 4:30 movie.
Yeah, part of me was like, is he going to go with a Kevin Smith movie?
That's what I thought he would.
No, I'm not touching Kevin Smith movies.
He does have a history of failure under his belt when it comes to the box office.
This is true, especially
I mean,
things that are non.
And yet, if you go back to some of his old ones, I would gladly take like the $20 million or $30 million that some of those movies made in the past.
Oh, Real Pain. That was the Kieran Culkin and Jesse Eisenberg. That was one I was considering.
Yeah, that has potential to be like a sleeper hit.
I don't. It looks more like looks too indie to me to make money, but I think I'll enjoy it. Like we'll all watch it probably and be like, "Oh, that was a fun movie."
Yeah, like it. I mean, it's going to be in like awards conversation, but yeah, again, indie movies used to make way more than they did now. Yeah, I don't know what that would actually make. And yeah, Heretic looked solid. But I don't know.
That could perform, but by perform,
I don't love its.
like
I don't
40.
love its release date. Like a horror movie in November. I think there was just way too many prior, so they didn't really have a choice. But yeah, I mean, I'll definitely gonna check it out. Assuming it's good, like I'm expecting. But all right, so let's just run through everyone's picks real quick. Doug, how we should have done a stipulation for Moana 2, especially based on your Murderer's Row of first 3 picks. This is the winter spring draft all over again that you won earlier this year. Or was it last fall? No, it was this year when you got Dune, Ghostbusters, and Mean Girls. And then you eventually got Madam Web, like, later on. I was like, God, come on, man. All right, so you got Moana 2. You got Venom: The Last Dance, Sonic the Hedgehog 3, Kraven the Hunter, Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim. All IP. IP crazy for his first 5 picks.
I do.
And then
I'm big on the IP.
And then we go very adult skewing for the remaining picks with Saturday Night, The Complete Unknown, and Conclave. But I think each of those have potential to more than some of the adult skewing ones that have been picked from all of us in the past. Corey, you got Joker, Folie à Deux, Transformers 1, Gladiator 2, Smile 2. So again, very
Nosferatu.
yeah, Nosferatu, Terrifier 3, and then Nora. So you're IP outside of Nora, right? Joker, Transformers.
Front room, I guess.
Oh yeah, the front room. I missed that. My page didn't go far down enough. And front room. Okay,
Yeah.
You're big on horror. Front room, Terrifier 3, and Nosferatu. But yep, got some big movies in there. And then I got Mufasa the Lion King, which I'm just banking on the Lion King. I mean, it's not even innocent. We did talk about Alice in Wonderland and Maleficent, but those movies do not remotely compare to the impact that the Lion King has. So hopefully that works out for me. So I got that Beetlejuice, Wicked, The Wild Robot.
I think Wicked is going. That one I really wanted because I think that's going to hit.
I hope you're all right, my friend.
A lot of fans of that play.
Red One, Speak No Evil, Here, and Flight Risk. So I believe the only originals I have are Flight Risk and Red One. Everything else is IP of some sort.
You got that Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah, that's one of the originals.
Moneymaker.
I don't like it, but I'm hoping to make some money.
That one I think will make money. Even though it looks
people want to watch Cramp and Slap or whatever. Crumpish Slop.
Crumpish Slop, yeah. It looks so stupid.
Yeah, it looks really stupid. Oh. Yeah, so
I think I'm being dragged to see that one. Kate got pulled in. She was like, "That looks funny." So,
yeah, I mean, I think I will probably see. The only ones I won't see are Sonic 3.
Yeah, that'll be a streaming one for me.
Red One. Yeah, those are the only two I have no interest in seeing in theaters.
You're gonna see Venom in theaters?
Yeah, I'll see Venom in theaters. I saw the second one in theaters.
Yep.
Megalopolis
we'll see in
theaters. They're incredibly stupid, but I want to see them in theaters. Yeah, then plenty of movies that weren't drafted I'll see in theaters. Y2K, Megalopolis, A Different Man, The Substance. I can keep going on. All right. I don't know. Based on where we started, I think it's got a little bit more even by the end. Again, Moana just scares me because I think it's got probably 200 million, potentially 200 million more than Joker and Mufasa and anything else. I could totally see another
Inside Out.
Maybe, yeah. I could potentially see it. I think it's more likely in the 550 than 650, but it's gonna be big. It's gonna be very big. So all right. Anything else you guys want to talk about with the fall box office draft?
No, I mean I think it seems pretty balanced.
All right. So that's all today. That's all we got for today regarding our main topic. Thank you again for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe on whatever you listen to wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And then now, if you'd like to know how this summer's films have been performing at the box office as we near its close and how they're impacting our summer box office pool, stick around for some end credit chatter. All right, boys. Summer box office pool. We're just continue talking about box office, moving back from fall to summer. So I've got the numbers through Thursday, August 22nd here. So before we get to where we're currently at, we'll kind of go over what's been going on over the past couple of weeks since our last episode. Alien Romulus opened. It had the second biggest opening of the franchise after Prometheus, but when adjusted for inflation, it's behind everything except for Alien, Aliens, and the two films that had extended holiday opening weekends, Resurrection and Aliens vs. Predator Requiem. If they had 3-day openings, they would have been higher as well. So, I mean, this is a franchise that clearly has a devout and stable audience, but doesn't actually grow as far as ticket sales go. We'll see how it does moving forward throughout the rest of the month. We'll see how it holds this weekend. But yeah, it opened well with 43 million.
I think that's right.
Yeah, 42 million. So very, very strong opening. And we'll see how it plays moving forward. Audience like it, critics like it. Definitely has some elements that are divisive, but it's much more of a crowd pleaser than Alien Covenant and Prometheus. And then it's much better than the two Alien versus Predator movies. So it's clear. It's easily the least divisive movie that they put out since Aliens back in 1986 in this series, and where it's both high quality and doesn't have things that would turn people off as much as some of the other ones. Coraline turned out to be the re-release that should have been drafted this summer. Star Wars was the only one that was. Coraline came out as a Fathom event release and is killing it, frankly, for a limited release like this. I mean, it's already got 20 million, and its run has been extended. So that was something that I just did not see coming. This movie has a massive following, a cult following, and I mean, it based on it opening at number 5 last week and then extending its run this coming week, it should continue to make money throughout the rest of the summer, which is very surprising. Yeah. All right. Then Blink Twice and The Crow, which were both drafted by us. Blink Twice by me, and Crow by Corey. Both had Thursday previews under $1 million. So I wouldn't expect either to cross 10 million this weekend. They should be in the single digits, mid to high single digits likely. So yeah, this with The Crow, it is another major bomb for Lionsgate after Borderlands. Absolutely terrible. That's not making 20 million total.
And it was an expensive one, I think, to make, at least, for that type of film. I think it cost a decent amount.
Yeah. And we did have a question by somebody in the comments in the last few minutes, so we'll answer that shortly. Let's just run through this real quick. Doug, as far as the box office pool goes, as far as the non-stipulation with Deadpool and Wolverine, you pulled ahead of me, but because Deadpool and Wolverine was cut in half, that took away 279 million from your total. And I'd say you grossing that from the remainder of Deadpool and Wolverine, and it ends with us, along with the drips and drabs that you got with Trap and every other film that's still in release. I think you don't have enough in the tank to make that, especially because Deadpool and Wolverine will continue to be cut in half, but we shall see. We should be able to officially wrap up the summer box office pool and the summer season in our next episode, now that all of our films have been drafted and that all the ones drafted have been released and all movies released this summer in general should have an ending gross in sight in a couple weeks when we do our next episode after Labor Day. But yeah, as far as the summer box office is concerned, the biggest remaining story is really whether Deadpool and Wolverine has enough left in the tank to snatch the crown from Inside Out 2 for the highest grossing film at the domestic box office. But between this weekend and Labor Day weekend, we should have our answer. But ultimately, either way, Disney wins since they released those two films. So after the stinker of 2023 that they had overall, they are killing it this year between those two films, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Alien Romulus, and then they've got plenty of movies. Not plenty, but they've got a few potential hits this fall with Moana 2 and Mufasa, among others. So, yeah, as far as our totals go, did you have something to say before I just get to our totals?
I was just gonna say it's funny that with Disney owning Fox, just like how much. I mean, in Disney owning everything, just how much IP and franchises Disney has. It's like just kind of feels like everything this summer was basically Disney.
Yeah, a lot of the big ones. And they didn't throw out an Avatar movie this year. They didn't throw out a Star Wars movie this year. They only did one Marvel movie, so it should be crazy to see what they've got. We know what they've got in the pipeline based on D23, and they've got a lot of hits and a lot of IP. So plenty of those movies will be drafted high in the future. But as far as where we're all at right now, Corey's in third place with 624 million. We'll see how high you can go, Corey, with Alien Romulus continuing to make money. The Crow's opening this weekend, and then Despicable Me 4 continuing to bring him a little bit of money. Doug, you are at 916 million. You are at 1.2 billion when Deadpool and Wolverine is not cut in half. You really got hurt between that and then losing Horizon and American Saga Chapter 2. That definitely put a major dent on you. Probably would have won if that film came out.
That was despite
Deadpool and Wolverine being cut in half, that probably would have given you what you needed. But in all seriousness, yeah, you still got a bunch more money left to come from It Ends With Us and Deadpool and Wolverine. So we'll see how high you can go, both adjusted and unadjusted. And then I'm in first place with 1.18 billion. I've got Blink Twice opening this weekend, as we said, and then I've still got money coming in from Twisters and a little bit of money still coming in from Inside Out too, as well. But yeah, I mean, it looks like it'll be unadjusted. It'll be Doug, then me, and then Corey, and then adjusted, which is ultimately what matters. It will be me, then Doug, then Corey. But yeah. Anything else box office wise? And then we'll get to this question that was thrown in by Numplex.
Yeah, answering that, at least from my point of view, giving a recommendation. But one other thing that I wanted to mention with box office, The Crow did cost $50 million to make. That was its budget. So just let that. Whew, that's bad.
They had two rough ones after Borderlands, which was like over 100 million, and then The Crow. I mean, I think they kind of hedged their bets with both movies, and Lionsgate didn't put all their money behind both of them. I could be wrong, but either way, that's two that you don't want to see in a row, especially when they were supposed to have a guaranteed hit and Saw 11 later this year. And I think another one as well was supposed to come out this year. Oh, yeah, John Wick, Ballerina was supposed to come out this summer, which comes out next year. So those were two hit movies that Lionsgate would have had this year that got pushed.
I was reading about that one that it might get pushed again because they're doing like all of these additional crazy reshoots, like whatever that
basically Chad is basically coming back in to like
refilming it,
salvage the movie just because it's not John Wick quality. So yeah, it seems like that's going to end up being costly just because of what it was and what it's becoming. But yeah, we could dive deeper into the summer box office and wrap that up in our next episode. But yeah, what would Numplex ask?
It's a film recommendation. Really just
always been a big fan of Hollywood movies. Could you recommend something for me? I recently watched To Kill a Mockingbird and loved it. All right, so you're going back to classics. I mean, if you want to watch something similar to To Kill a Mockingbird, in I'd say 12 Angry Men would be a great choice to complement that film. As another film set in a courtroom. What is it? 1957 from Sidney Lumet, stars Henry Fonda. Great film. That would complement To Kill a Mockingbird very well. You're not quite dealing with Atticus Finch and such a great person like him, but you are dealing with a jury determining the fate of someone, and somebody kind of, I guess in a way, kind of standing up for the law and really wanting to make sure just a just trial takes place. What about you guys? Anything that you'd recommend on the classic side or currently released based on him enjoying To Kill, or him, she, they enjoying To Kill a Mockingbird?
The other thing that, I mean, not really related at all to, thematically To Kill a Mockingbird, but check out Hitchcock's films. There's a lot to really watch there. That's really good if you want to go more in like a classic route.
Yeah, can't go wrong with Hitchcock. Vertigo, Psycho, North by Northwest.
He's got a bit of everything in his catalog.
I mean, feel free to comment on our YouTube video. We can give you on any of our YouTube videos. We can give you more recommendations and give us movies that you are particularly interested in.
There's a
We'd be
ton
happy to supply recommendations for similar type of ones. But all right. I think that wraps things up. So as always, this has been Corey, Doug, and Murph at Live Breathe Film. We'll see you again next time, film fans.
Bye.